Today we're flying out the Hornet, 5.7 British, 2 km airspawn, amazing climb rate, so you should be above all the enemies at all times. This game, however, I made a pretty substantial mistake at the start of the match. I thought I could dive on those Mk.III and get away with it, get my altitude back and then engage the 152s that are coming on from the left over there. They'll be spotted very soon. Unfortunately so, they did go for me. They didn't leave me alone and I didn't get my energy back. So basically this whole game is what happens if you're on the back foot in your Hornet and need to regain that altitude advantage. You need to regain that energy advantage and you need to be able to fight back. Because without an altitude advantage, without an energy advantage, this thing becomes not very good. It's a brick, it's a boat, it's an oil tanker, and if you don't have the energy to work with, the enemy can pick you apart relatively easily. Luckily for me, the climb rate of this thing is amazing and so is the straight line speed. And this combination makes it so that I can extend away, get people on my 6 and then start climbing in a very gradual way, and then I will be able to regain my energy. Second head on with the Dornier. No, he's a brick as well. See that he goes head on, dodge that as fast as I can, see where he is going, and then now I need to make an escape path. Because this 152C3 will definitely gun me down if I let him. So I dive away. He doesn't stick. Smart move on his end. I don't have to dive anymore. I have some speed. I'm going 600 kph and I'm going to go level. Pop my smoke to bait people down because they're already coming for me, so I might as well kind of taunt them so they lose even more energy. This Kia 84 will never get close to me. I'm going 650. This thing will maintain that. He will not. And doing this I will be able to get out of his gun's range and just fly away. He will get a little bit close for a little bit, but it won't be that dangerous. Move a little bit left and right. If he moves he loses more energy than me, and you can see that I'm maintaining that 670 now because I'm diving slightly. And he doesn't want to stick. Good move on his end. I would have put it in a very gradual climb, but of course those are just the small things. We are not on voice comm, so all the communication you see with my squad. You got Adam over there with his old name even. It's a rather old game, but I think it showcases the plane very well. I didn't use this in the match because, well, I already covered the Hornet. I put that in the top right over here if you want to see that. But I thought I would use it anyway because I think it was a very showing gameplay for the vehicle. And right now I'm being left alone, except for the Kia 84 that broke off, lost all his energy and then turned back. He's never going to catch me again. But I still have those 4 people in low altitude orbit. I got 2 152H, a 152H, a 152C, RE2005 and a Dora. As well as the Kia 83 that's literally sitting in orbit. And they're gonna make me struggle. They really are going to make me struggle because that combination is very deadly. The 152 especially is very annoying to fight in this thing, but I will show you later on how you can deal with that. But of course you need to have some luck and it will depend on the situation as well. What I'm doing right now is I'm simply climbing away from the battle. I'm unspotted as far as I'm concerned, and they might drop some altitude. Just cooling my engine right now because I'm alone. 50% will cool it down relatively quickly and then I can start weaping again. The Kia 83 is definitely going for me now, however. So I want to throttle up again and get some altitude going. I am faster than the Kia 83. He will outturn me and he will outclimb me. So I will have to play my cards right here because he already has the altitude advantage and he's definitely the most dangerous foe at the moment. He's kind of that guy that counters you because he's relatively the same, but he does just enough things better than you to the point where you can't really abuse your own strength. And again, I'm just still climbing. Hoping Doc Holiday here will dive in a little bit. RE2005 doesn't seem to be keeping its altitude. Again, this is a gameplay where the RE2005 still has the old flight model, so it's actually very strong at the moment. We reached 6.5 kilometers. 6 kilometers, excuse me. Hard to see it on the screen. And now I will turn in. I'm above these guys, except for the Dora, which is on equally high altitude. And I'm going to be turning in. I'm just going to be picking up my speed. I don't have to web here. I'm overheating already. And I want to use my web for when I start going slower. When the power of my plane becomes more important. Because of course with prop planes, the slower you go, to a certain extent, of course, you don't want to go like 200, 150 because then your prop will not output as much power. But once you sit around 300, you will have the most amount of power. And I want to use that. I want to use my web for scenarios where I can actually use it. Or when I start engaging someone like here. And then I throttle up. It's a 152. I can't really tell what it is. as of right now. Seems to be a H. Just confirming when he gets closer. Definitely a H. Something I don't want to mess with. I hear a plane in front of me. Very lucky, because I could have been dead here. Just dodge him, luckily we're at high altitude and he can't really pull very well. And I just managed to get out of his guns. And now I got the second 152 on my 6 as well. Luckily the Mk.III dropped down to lower altitude to chase Doc Holliday in its F4U. So now, what do? You have two 152s on you, one has an altitude advantage and going roughly the same speed. But it's a C3 luckily, and the other one is a H1, which is substantially more dangerous, because of course the C3 is a literal brick. It does roll well, it doesn't pull very well, and it doesn't turn whatsoever. And here I go in a slight dive, inviting these two guys to dive with me, drop their altitude, because I'm going into a slight turn here, so it looks like they're catching me. And he is catching me, but he's cutting me off. The moment I straighten out, it takes a little bit, don't mind that. The moment I start straightening out, he will not catch me again. Now we equalize the energy. He's breaking off, or not really sticking, which is perfect. H1, unfortunately so, is keeping his altitude. So we go back to trying to regain that altitude advantage. They won't be catching me, I'm a lot faster than them, and I wanted RE 2005 out of the game. These two guys are not going to leave me alone anyway. So I opted to kill the RE 2005 while he's engaged on the 82, because an RE 2005 on his own is very annoying to kill in this thing. It's very maneuverable, it's very easy for him to stay out of my guns. So I thought, he's occupied right now, why not try to gun him down? Unfortunately so, he still saw me, and could tell that he had very little trouble dodging my guns right there. Now make sure I don't get dove on by the two 152s above me, so I go into a very gradual climb. I straighten out, he doesn't want to stick with me, not sure why. He comes back, probably thought he was pitching up or something. I'm climbing very gradually here, so he has less to dive, because the less he can dive, the less energy he will have. I will pick up my speed again. Fuel starvation by neck-G'ing, yes that happens. It's a H1, he will not catch me. I'm going to be staying out of his gun range for the entirety of this time. Yes, he's diving, yes, he's slowly catching me, but the least steep he will dive, the more I will outrun him. Yes, I'm in 1 kilometer, his guns will technically reach me, but there we go, I'm again outrunning him, and he won't be doing anything anymore. I go into a very gradual climb, because the more gradual the climb is, the better. The RE 2005, I don't know how he died, not sure if he rammed at him or if he ripped. Seems like he ripped, or rammed him, because he's RTB as well. And the 152 goes into a climb, and this is not a fight he will win. He might have better retention than me, at least in terms of energy retention in the turn. He does not have better retention in these kind of climbs, and you can see that I'm leaving him in the dust completely. For right now I just want to drain him of as much energy as I can, because I'm still going about 400, he's doing nowhere near that. And the slower we go, the harder I will outclimb him, because he does have some good retention. Unfortunately so for him, I have two engines with way too much horsepower. Right now he's going about 280, I'm going 310, I'm above him. I will start turning in. He's turning as well, bleeding even more of his speed. And now the game begins. I will straighten out a little bit here to get some speed, so I can actually dodge and maneuver when he gets close to me. I will let him cut me off, because he will still be climbing at this angle. I'm above him, he's going straight at me. He's not gaining any speed other than the acceleration. He's not gaining speed by diving, he is losing speed by climbing. I will turn into him slightly. Doing this will make it so that he thinks he's catching me still, and he will cut me off very aggressively, and he will lose even more speed. And I will continue to do this little by little, turning in slightly and slightly. Every time I start outrunning him, I will turn in slightly, and because of this he will keep having the illusion that he's actually catching me, while in reality I'm building up a massive altitude advantage and a massive energy advantage by getting right above him. And the closer I get and the more right above him I get, the steeper he will have to climb, and the lesser his chance will be of ever touching me to begin with. And after some setting up, I'm in a position where he can't do anything anymore other than dive away and try to get out of my guns. Right now I'm about 1 kilometer above him, I'm going faster than him, and I'm just right above him. Which makes it so that if he wants to engage me, which he will do very soon here, I will have all the energy in the world to just do in a very gradual dive, pick up some speed, start turning, and just go up again. Why didn't I go up immediately? Because then there was a chance that he would stall out below me and then gun me down from range, which is something I don't want to happen. Pop my landing flaps, I'm going very slow here. He won't be able to pitch up to this. Not reliably at least. He tried. He won't. He's stalling out. Hose him a little bit at range because I really want this guy out of the match. 152H is also very tanky. And I'm using Hispanos. He's crit. Not gonna stick to that because he will absolutely slam me. However, I'm still going faster than him. And he still has to turn. He's cutting me off still because I'm still going not directly away from him. And we put it back into this gradual climb. And you can tell that he's not coming anywhere near me. At least not anytime soon. Of course the problem is he still has another 152 hook. It's a C. And he has the Dora on the deck. And I'm overheating, which doesn't make this fight any more fun. Well, I did have quite a lot of fun. But realistically speaking, this is not a scenario you want to be in. Looks like I actually crit something important because he doesn't want to stick anymore. And I want this guy out of the match right about now. I can deal with the 152C and the Dora. I don't really want to deal with the 152H. He is definitely not doing too good. And I don't have to web here because I'm in a dive. I'm already going fast enough as it is. I want to cool off these engines a little bit. Miss him there because of the compression of the roll, as well as the pool in general. And then I spot the other 152, which is completely fine. He won't be getting anywhere near me as well. He has been going straight line here for a little bit, and the 152C will not be able to touch this. Dodge the head on, go underneath him. He has a very poor rudder. Go straight. If he turns around, he won't be catching me. And now I can run away from the 152C as well as run away from the 152H. By going head on like that, I put the other 152 right behind the other one. And because of that, I can now extend both of them at the same time, which makes this a lot more efficient. Of course, you can use web on this thing to overheat a little bit less, but I'm too lazy to do that, and therefore I have to manage my web by just turning it on and off. This time I will use a very steep climb. They're very far away. I have a lot of energy, I have a lot of altitude, so I can just go steep and make them more aggressive, as it looks like I'm going a lot slower, and they might think they can pitch up to me again. Trust me, you're not going to catch this. Not in a million years. Maybe you snipe me at 1.3 kilometers with your 30 mil, but other than that, it's just not going to happen. He's selling himself out. He fell for the bait. And at this point he's going like 100 kph. I'm flipping over. I should have turned my web off here, but that's besides the point. He's selling out. And he's just giving me a very nice little broadside, and I take his wing clean off. Onto the 152C. Who is also not going to do much to me. Because again, it's a 152C. And without the airspawn, a 152C isn't going to do much. So I just go into a very straight line towards him, so I don't lose too much energy. I'm gonna be pitching down a little bit to bait him into the head-on, and then I just break off, because I'm so much faster that I don't even have to take the head-on with him. He's cutting me off a little bit, so it still looks like he's catching me. And once I pass his nose, I wait a little bit, and then I just pitch up, and he just doesn't have anywhere near the energy to pitch up for me here. As you can tell, he's not doing very good. Break another flap off, unfortunately so, at the same side. And take the other wing off. And that's kill number 3. And now we just have the Dora left. A plane I can quite frankly literally prey on as soon as I get eyes on him. The problem is, if he's right above me, if he starts diving on me and he starts catching me, I of course do have a problem, because right now I'm only going about 500 kph at about 1 kilometer. So if he has 3 kilometers on me, 2 kilometers on me, he will definitely kill me. I can try to reverse him, I can try to energy fight him, and I will probably get away with it if he's kind of stupid. Unfortunately so. For him, that is. That's not the case. I will just show the path towards him. I'm going to cut this part out and just speed it up. If we're on equal energy, the Dora isn't going to do much. Just checking his stat card to see how many games he has in the thing, to see how, if he's stock, maybe he's inexperienced, which Dora it is, because it does make quite a little bit of difference. Of course, the difference between a D9 and a D13 versus this thing isn't very substantial, especially when he's lower than you. And all I'm doing right now is just going to be diving straight towards him to bait him into that little head-on. Pop the smoke. He doesn't have any altitude to deal with whatsoever, and I'm going 700 right here. So he is not going very fast. At most he's going 600 because that's his top speed, but I don't think he's going anywhere near that. So again, I do the same thing. Try to pass the head-on from the side, go a lot steeper this time because I just have that much energy, and I'm still going 500 once I reach 2 kilometers. He's trying to hose me down. Sorry bro, that's not gonna happen. Of course you also have to take into account that he is running max tank right now, or at least max fuel of what he's taking after he took off, and I'm running on 2/3 of my min fuel in this thing, so I'm a lot lighter than he will be at the start of the game, and even at the start of the game I don't have much trouble with a Dora. So this is just gonna be an energy draining fight. Just keep baiting him into engagements, just stay right above him, and the more right above him I stay, the less he will be able to do. And he's going to keep turning right under me, which is a smart thing to do, unfortunately. So he's in a Dora and he's not going to get away with it. Miss it there because he's rolling and I just compress a little bit. He has to do a full 180 here to get the guns on me. So I just go straight for a little bit to get that separation up. And then once he starts getting right below me, guess what I do? Yes, you guessed right, I just go straight up again. And it's just nothing this guy is going to do. I don't want to go too steep, I don't want to stall out and then him pitch up after me and hose me down for 1.3 kilometers, because I'm not going to be throwing the game like that. And at this point I'm basically right behind him. He goes slower and slower. Get a crit, no idea what it is, didn't seem to be doing a lot of damage. Might have a water leak, but that's about it. And we just extend away again. We didn't seem to do a lot of damage to that plane, but that tree sure did. And there you have it, energy fighting in a very heavy plane. Of course a very heavy plane with more energy than most vehicles it fights. Hope you enjoyed it, see you all very soon again, and have a nice Sunday.